Hey, good evening, everybody, and a very, very warm welcome to you this evening. We are going to kick this team webinar off in a really, really short moment or two, just waiting for all the participants to log in. Takes a moment for you all to get onto the Zoom. And as we do, just send out any last minute reminders to your team members to hop on. Just had a quick sneak preview of what's being covered this evening, and it looks absolutely fantastic. So I know it is being recorded, but obviously we want to get as many people on this evening live with us. Also, grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and make sure you have plenty of paper so you can take notes, and have a diary as well. Please make sure you have your diary with us this evening. So I see we've got 35 on. Welcome to everybody. I can see lots of names there from across the UK and over in the Netherlands, so welcome all this evening. I am going to kick this off. So it is the 9th of May. Welcome everybody to the team call this evening. We've got lots to cover, but what we wanted to start by covering was recognizing some of those people who've been busy out there gathering customers and bringing people in. And I want to have a massive shout out to these people because we haven't even hit this is going first into our events. I want to do some recognition for people who have gone ahead, taken the initiative to register for our London Leadership Academy. Now, here's the thing. You might be thinking it's on the 11th of June, which is probably about 4 weeks away, and you've got plenty of time, but we want to make sure you're registered in advance, you've secured your ticket, and you are there. So a big shout out to Sarah, Vicky, I'm in there, Pavey, Laura, Lena, Cheryl, Carol, Carmel, Helen, and Sally. Absolutely fantastic. Why do you want to be there? Well, here's the thing. It's going to be our first official training event in the UK. We're going to have top performers from LifeVantage flying in from North America to train us on the day-to-day building of our businesses, what we need to go out and make this an even bigger success across the UK and the Netherlands market. We're also going to have the corporate team there. They're going to be sharing some really exciting stuff as to what lies ahead for us in terms of product and development of our marketplace. So you definitely want to be there. And if you're not aware of where to go get yourself registered, you want to go to the uk.lifevantage.com website and just click to the right where it says distributor portal. You'll see events, and the London event is listed there. It's really simple. You just click on it. It'll ask you to use your ID and password, same one that you use to log into your back office, and you just go through the process of paying for your ticket. So I'd absolutely get yourself registered and then go make sure all your team are registered. Having been to an event in the US with Lisa in the latter half of last year, having been to the event in Birmingham this year, it was an amazing opportunity to get in front of the corporate team and the field, and also our amazing Dr. Natalie Chevreau, who is an extraordinary communicator. How she communicates, she takes a scientific product and delivers it in the most amazing format. So I cannot express how much we want to get you on. So when this call ends this evening, right at number 1 on the top of your list that you're going to do, you're going to go to uk.lifevantage.com. You're going to make sure you've got your childcare, you've got your travel plans, if you need to stay overnight, get all of that planned well in advance so you can come and join us here. And also, more than anything, it's a team get together. We get to all see each other. I know there's lots of great faces in this group. We're all getting to know each other, but great opportunity to get together and learn about what we're all doing in our various markets. So well done to that. And also, a big shout out, we've got 5 people from Europe who are heading across to Anaheim, to California, to LA. Anaheim is the home of Disneyland. I'm sure they're not going for Disneyland, but massive shout out to Ivan and Milena and Margot, Cheryl and Lisa for going over to that event. That is in July, and again, that's a bigger event. It's a 3.5, I think, day event. They've got the amazing Eric Worre there doing a full day workshop, and having experienced that myself firsthand, I have to say that is an amazing investment into your business. You will get a massive return from attending that event. So well done to those guys for getting themselves on that those tickets to that event. So moving on to the recognition, of people who are going out and absolutely smashing their customer volume. You know, as I said earlier, it is the 9th of the month, so we haven't even had our second auto ship run, and we have 3 people who are already over the 500 personal volumes. That's from personal use and from customers on retail and auto ship. So big shout out to Kerry and Vicky and Patricia for achieving that, leading by example. Absolutely fantastic to see. And also we've got over 29 people who've already done their 200, their minimum 200. So a massive shout out to all of those people. And I know, because I know a number of these people, they're almost at the 500 mark. So, you know, when we talk about the standard we want to set ourselves, and when we look at the long-term stability and of our businesses, we want to all make sure that we're doing that 200 PV. So a massive salute to those guys. Really, really, really exciting to see that. So moving on to some of the events that we have to look forward to. Well, this is all happening in the UK. So get your diary out and think about, who do you know, who could you get in front of Lisa and Sarah this Thursday in Bury, up in the northwest. Oh, my geography's a bit bad. Lisa's probably going to kill me for that. But who do you know up in that area? I know we've got a great team forming in that area. Who can you get along to have a look and see what we're doing there? Then we got Watford on Thursday next week, Thursday the 18th. Myself and Vicky will be there. We'll be hosting a business event with Lindsay and Vicky and all the gang in North London and the Bedfordshire area. And then we've got an event on the Wednesday, that's May 19th, and that has just been announced today. It's going to be at a golf club. We will have a shareable out within the next 24 hours. So who do you know in those areas that you can invite along and get to it? And then Wednesday the 24th, we're going to have a South London event. We're saying Wandsworth. We're still to confirm a venue, but that is an event. Who do you know south of the river in London who could get themselves to the Wandsworth area? And then obviously we have got our Leadership Academy that we have just touched on there on the 11th of June. That's a Saturday. And I would absolutely 100% encourage everybody to get there. And we've obviously got the event in Leeds that's been run every other Thursday by Lena and Lisa. I know they did an event last Thursday, so the next one will be next Thursday, and we want to have that. And oh, I've just had somebody notify me that Bedford event is actually Thursday the 19th. So scratch out in your diary. I should know that because my daughter's birthday is the Friday.
My bad. Yes, it is Thursday the 19th. Sorry.
Thursday the 19th, and I think it is Wednesday the 18th as well. So we've got our days confused there. But absolutely get yourself along to those events. And what I'd also say is I really would encourage people, if you've not yet been to an event, come along to it. If you haven't yet seen the business being presented other than on a webinar, we want you there. There may be a tendency to say, well, I haven't got a guest, or I don't know anybody there. Come along, because here's the thing. You're going to hear testimonials of people who are on the product. You're going to hear different distributors talking and presenting the business, and it's just going to increase your confidence, increase your knowledge, and give you the tools to go out and present this yourself in the very near future. So I know we also have an event taking place next week in North America, and Lisa's going to touch a bit more on this, but next week the NRF1 gets launched. For those of you who want to stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning, there's going to be a live webinar on this Tuesday, I'm afraid to say the dates now, but it's next Tuesday, the 16th, I think, 17th. And there will be a webinar where we can access that. And Lisa's going to touch a little bit more on how we in Europe can maybe get ride this wave of the NRF1 launch as it goes live next week in North America. So I think that is me done this evening. Lots to look forward to, lots of recognition, and I'm going to hand over to Lisa. I've been looking forward to this all day long. I know she's been planning it, putting some great stuff together on how we can develop a mindset for success. And Lisa, over to you.
All right, thank you so much. And one thing, couple of just to add on what Laura's just said would be that here's what I'm aiming to do. For those of you who live in the north of England, like Birmingham up, I'm aiming to put either a minibus or a reasonably priced coach on for all of us that live in the north, so we can get down to the London event. It'll be cheaper than a train. If we do it together, it'll be cheaper than a full tank of gas. It'll mean that we can have a bevy on the way home and after the event if necessary, because none of us will have to drive. So right now, put in the chat, if you're in the north of England, I would have to probably get at least 15 to 20 people to make this possible. If you would be up for sharing a coach and having some fun on the way down and on the way back from the London event, write in the chat box, let me know how many of you guys, Nicola is saying me, who else is in the north? Joanne, yes, I know we've got Karina, Lena, Cheryl, Crystal, there's a lot of people, Sarah Morris, there's a lot of people in the north, so that is my plan. Here's what I need to do. We need to get everybody from the north registered. I need to look at the numbers of how many people we've actually got registered before I'm going to commit to booking it. And then I'll go ahead and make that happen, and I'll try and make it really affordable. Maybe we can pay like 15 quid each to get a coach there and back to the event. So it seems like for those that are on, that would be a good idea. So that is something I'm working on. Let's literally double the numbers. We got right now only 11 people registered. Corporate are watching the numbers. Please, guys, let's go double by the end of this call this evening, the numbers registered for that London event. It is going to be very worth your while being there, that is for sure. So that was that. There was something else, and I can't remember what it was, so it can't have been that important. Oh, NRF1, yes, that is important. So NRF1 is cyber launching on Tuesday the 16th, I believe, in the US. It'll be about 1 a.m. our time. I'm not expecting everybody to stay up and watch it. I probably will, because I'm a night owl anyway. If Crystal Foster's out there, I know she's a night owl. She'll be staying up to watch it. Probably Ivan as well. But I know that it's not going to be officially affecting us, because we're not going to be launching NRF1 immediately. This is the first time it's been released, and it takes about 3 months or more to go through EU regulations and get certified here in the UK. But myself and your Pro 4 and above uplines are going to make sure that we can get a supply, because some of us already have a US, the ability to do that through the US. And we cannot do resale. Like, we can't resell a product, but we can order for our own personal use. So we're going to make sure that we put a small order in. If you would like to get your hands on some NRF1 before its official launch in the UK, so you can use it, get your own story with it, get your own results with it, start talking to other people about it ahead of the launch, then please let your Pro 4 above know, because we'll be putting some orders in after the launch on the 16th, so that we can help you guys have that in your hands. So excited. They've been doing a sample group in the corporate head office and some of the Pro 10s, and the results that I have heard about people's energy is amazing. So I'm very excited to get my hands on NRF1. That is for sure. I also want to give a big shout out to Deborah Chalmers, who this evening or today had a launch event, a couple of events running through the day, and she brought in 690 in personal volume sales just today through going out and running a few launch events. And I have to tell you, that list of people that are on their 200 and above, these are people that are getting out, they're launching the product in their houses, in other people's houses, in front of people. I really advise that you guys use those launch meetings. They work, they work, they work, they work. The success leaves clues. Those people that are doing them are having some great results. So let's move on And this isn't going to be an incredibly long training, but I was on a call actually with RJ. I call her Rachel Jackson. I call her RJ. As many of you probably already aware or do, but if you weren't sure, Rachel Jackson is our upline Elite Pro 8 in the US. And we were on a call the other day, and she made a comment that really, really resonated with me. And she said, one of the biggest mistakes I made in my first 4 years in this business was that all I read about was skills and tools. Skills and tools, the skills that I needed to better myself. I read leadership books. I read how to invite, how to prospect, how to close, but she said the biggest mistake that I made was that I didn't work on me. And we all have our things. We all have our personal quirks and challenges, and it doesn't matter, how successful you are, we all have them. And it totally made sense to me because when you think about it, this industry is 80 to 90% mindset. 80 to 90% of your success in a network marketing business is going to be mindset over skill. 10% skill, 90% mindset. The mindset to get up and go do it even when you don't feel like it. The mindset to keep going even when people tell you not to. The mindset to, go through 25 no's to find that amazing yes at the end of it. The reason people quit this business is not because they're not skilled. It's because they do not have the mindset to get them through the challenges. So I decided, the last few calls we've been doing quite a bit on tools and what to say and what to do and opening the month and closing the month, which is all required. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit tonight about mindset. And I'm not an expert, but I do know a thing or two about it. And what I can tell you is I am a completely different person than I was 5 years ago because of the work that I have had to put into myself from having a lot of success very quickly. And one of the things that I've done over that time, actually back when I met Rachel, before we were part of Visalis, before either of us were part of Visalis, I actually spent about £1,000. I'm not telling you to go do that, by the way, but it was a choice of mine. And it was a course all about you and how you work and what you think affects what you do. And it was $1,000 course. And it was a 7-week course that I went on. That course changed my life. It opened me up to think, well, that makes sense. I understand that. And I would see how that worked. And it's just stuff that I was never exposed to. So I know that some of you on this line are, been around a while and you're quite advanced. And I know some of you probably hearing this for the first time and you might even think it sounds a little bit, quirky. But what I'm going to tell you is this. Some of these things, in fact, all of these points that I'm going to run through with you, there's 9 of them. Grab a pen and paper because I haven't wrote them out. They're just in images. 9 of these are, if you spoke to Tony Robbins, if you spoke to anybody that had a significant amount of success, Brian Tracy, Jim Rohn, Robert Kiyosaki, Richard Branson, they all practice these types of mindsets. And success leaves clues. So you want to tap into what is the right mindset to have. And as I go through these, there's 9 of them. When you're going through information, especially if you hear it sometimes for the first time, or maybe you're hearing it again, you've already heard it, but a different point is more relevant to you. I want you to mark yourself as we go through those 9. And at the end of it, I want you to pick one that you know that you need to work on. So as you go through, I want you to mark yourself 1 out of 10 for each one. And I want you to think about which one of these is going to make the most significant impact, and work on just one. Work on just one. So let's dive in. So first one, if I can get my slides to move forward, is thoughts become things. And Bob Proctor, one of the people behind and involved in The Secret. If you've never read it, go grab it. I'm more in tune with that's factually backed. But the Secret is the window, usually the door that people get introduced to, opening your mind to these principles and these laws. So thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. Thoughts become things. If you can see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand. And how many times have you thought about wanting something, or wanting to go somewhere or be somewhere or do something, and then years later, all of a sudden you're sat there doing it? Like, raise your hand, put in the chat box right now if this has ever happened to you. I always wanted to drive a BMW. I always wanted to drive, in fact, better than that. Let me give you another story. When I just came back from working in the US for a short period of time while I had my son, Dwayne, my oldest. And I was driving through Richmond Park. I was managing a small day spa in Hampton Court in the UK. And I was driving through Richmond Park, and I was sat in a brand new Renault Clio car that I bought cash from all of my money of years of hard work out overseas. And I remember I was sat in traffic waiting for the traffic to go by. And I looked at the car in front of me, and it was a brand new car, brand new registration plate. And you know what? For years, I had sat in front of cars with brand new registration plates, and thought, one day I am going to have, I'm nearly emotional thinking about now, I'm going to have a brand new car. I'm going to rip the plastic off the seats, and I know for sure that one day I am going to have me a brand new car. I grew up in a very middle-class family. We didn't have a lot of money. My dad had to remortgage the house to put my brother through college, my brother through university, and me through college. So we didn't have an abundance. And I grew up with a little bit of a poverty mindset surrounding me. So money was never something I had ever thought of in abundance. I had no idea how I was going to get that car. I remember sat in the park that day, looked at the registration, and then for a moment and thought, oh my goodness, I did it. I did it. I've got my car. Years later, I was talking to someone about, wanting a BMW, and I actually had a moment. I sat outside, looked on my drive, and there's a BMW sat out there. I did it again. I did it again. So, thoughts become things. And I want you to really think about, what are you focusing on? Because whatever you're focusing on, you are bringing into your life. If you're worrying about what isn't, what you don't have, what isn't working, there are some people, and the only time you'll call me is to tell me how everything's not working. And that's why everything isn't working, because that's what you're focused on. That is what the energy and the information you're putting out to the universe, it doesn't know any different. That's what the energy you give out, that's what you're praying for, and that's what you get more of. So make sure you're focused on keeping your eyes on the prize. They say that worrying is like praying for what you do not want. Keep your eyes on the prize. Here's what you have got to have success. You have got to believe. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your product. You've got to believe in your company, in this industry, in this team. In your upline, you've got to believe in events so that you can promote to them. By the way, events build belief. Go get registered. But you've got to focus your mind on where you're going. Write this down. I have a great app. It's called I Wish. I Wish. And I actually have all of my goals written down on there. And, you know, that every single day, once a day, whether I'm out with the dogs, out for a walk, sat in my bed, before I go to bed, I pull it out every single day. And my goals are on there. And you know what? January this year, I wrote, I'm going to go to Las Vegas. And there's a big picture of Vegas. And last year, I booked a ticket to go to the most powerful women in networking. But guess what? I had no idea where it was. February, I'm like, by the way, where is this event? It's in Vegas. Can you imagine? Oh, your thoughts become things. If you're focusing on what you don't want, you're not going to move forward. You've got to decide what it is you want, where it is you're going, and you've got to go and focus on that. Keep your blinkers on. When things aren't happening, you've got to have the power to see straight ahead to where you're going no matter what. So number one, thoughts become things. Raise your vibration. And I want you to all know that we're all energy. Everyone and everything is energy. And if you know or not, you're actually operating, and it's a little bit like your thoughts. You operate at a certain vibration. You know, sometimes somebody walks in the room and they light it up and it's full of energy. And there's other people who walk in the room and they suck the air right out of it. You've got to be someone who lights up the room. You've got to be somebody who's encouraging, and you know, you attract what you are. The energy you give out attracts what you are looking for. So if you're, still got a real poverty mindset, you have issues with ever making money, you're going to attract team members that have the same mindset. And let me tell you, that's a challenging team to build with. If you want abundance, if you want people that are savvy, if you want people that are confident, that are, out to create abundance, focus on being abundant. Focus, I'll tell you a great game to focus on in a minute that I've been doing since I came back from Vegas. It's amazing. So raise your vibration. And in order to do that, your thoughts and your beliefs, they shape your vibration. So by focusing on the right thoughts, increasing your belief, you will increase the vibration that you're putting out there to the universe. And, people pick up on it. People can read if you're being authentic or sincere, or if you're trying to pretend you're being something you're not. Be yourself. Vibrate you. Like, some people expect me to be a certain way because that's their criteria. I'm me. And you get what you see on the tin. I'm vibrating Lisa Panton. And I know that I'm going to attract people that are good for my energy, that work well in my environment. And that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to change people. I'm looking for the right people for our energy to work with. So make sure you're putting out the right energy on a daily basis. And I actually, every morning, I usually read my goals. I spend some time in personal development. Maybe you have to get up early to do it, but I do actually now. I'm training myself to get up earlier. And I go out for a walk with the dog, and I spend some time with Jojo, and I actually sit down after that, and then I plan my day. Because I want to make sure I'm in a good mindset, I'm in a good place. The worst thing you can do is wake up in the morning and then fall into opening emails and chaos, and before you know it, it's 1 o'clock and you haven't done anything constructive yet. So make sure that your energy is good. If you are wanting, think about, this is another good point. Think about who you want to attract. And actually, do you know who you want to attract? Do you have a criteria? Like, my suggestion would be sit down and write, who is the type of person? What characteristics do they have? What type of personality are they? What type of energy do they give out? who is the person you're looking for? Because quite honestly, if you don't know, you're signing up and looking for anyone. Who are you looking for? Who are the type of people you want to work with? So know who it is you want to attract to. This is a good one. The way you perceive yourself will dictate your reality. The way that you perceive yourself will dictate your reality. You know, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? Are you confident? You know, do you talk good to yourself? Or are you damaging to yourself? Are you mean to yourself? You know, I saw a post by a good friend of mine who's a life coach the other day, and it was a picture of her in a bikini, and she said, you know, this is not one of those bikini shots. This is my central, my, you know, HQ. This is me. And I have been so mean to myself over the years, and that's going to change. And, you know, again, like the thoughts that you have about yourself, are you confident? Are you confident about the way you look? Are you kind to yourself? Because whatever you think of yourself, if you think I can't do that, then you're right. Whatever you think you can't do, you are right. So what is it that you're doubting yourself out on? What are you doubting yourself out on? See, everybody has power and strength inside of them, and you've got to tap deep. You got to bring out your assets. Don't try to be somebody else, because you won't show up well. Be you. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't worry or wonder what people are going to think if you show up or say what you want to say, because actually, look at Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you don't know who he is, go look him up on Facebook. He's the most outspoken individual, millions of followers, millions of fans, packs out talks all over the place. Guess what? Because he keeps it real. He's 100% authentic. And he never, ever says or does what anybody else wants him to do. That's his philosophy. The way you perceive yourself will dictate your future. So what is it you think of yourself? Do you think positive things? And again, love yourself. The biggest thing about loving yourself is being confident in your own skin. Stop seeking approval from outside for what you want to do, for the decisions that you want to make. Stop seeking approval from others to live your life the way that you want to live it. You know, be careful who you seek counsel from. You know, if you go out in early days and you talk to your friends or your family and they're like, oh, that's a pyramid, it's one of those things, it's a scam, they don't work, that is enough to knock people off the fence. But if you're confident in yourself and your ability and your skill and your decisions, you won't let anybody knock you off your fence. And here's the thing I want to tell you. If you want to make it in this industry, find yourself a mentor in this industry. I do not care how successful anybody has been in life, whether they're a multimillionaire or whatever they've done, whether they're a six-figure plumber. They can't mentor you or give you sound advice on this because they've never done it. So make sure when you're taking advice, you're taking it from people who have the best interest in you. They want you to grow. They'll be honest with you. And they have already done it. So they know that their advice is solid. I see so many people get blown out of the water because a friend of theirs who they look up to, you know, talked them out of it because it was a bad idea. Have confidence in you and the decisions that you make. There isn't a slide for this one, but number 5 is everybody has special talent. Everybody has special talent. I don't mean your party tricks, but do what you do best. Like, there's a lot of things I have to do in my business, right? So there's admin, there's my books, there's keeping a track of numbers, working out figures, as you all know, like my maths is atrocious. That's not my gift zone. That's not my gift. That's not my talent. My talent is pouring myself into others. It's to get on a stage. It's to talk in front of people. It's to get behind the person who's giving up on themselves, to tell them, please don't. You know, it's to be in front of person. It's to share my passion for the product. It is to share, you know, my passion for this industry. What's your talent? If you love doing home meetings, do them to death. You know, in this industry, like, you might have skills outside of this industry that we don't even know about, right? That in relation to your business, what are you good at? Where are you comfortable? When do you come out the room feeling excited? What makes you feel flat? What draws your energy? You know, if you're good at one-to-ones, great. Like Lara Zimmerman, she's not self-admittedly an internet guru. But that girl can go in a networking group and she can get herself some customers. Like, she knows where she operates and works best. She can get anybody of any influence at any level on the phone about a business prospect, a business conversation, and nail it. Online is not, maybe Facebook's not her forte, but guess what? She's a Pro 5 heading for Pro 6. So stay in your gift zone. Do what you love more. Like, some people are so stressed out. Oh, I need a distributor. I need a distributor. If you're good with customers, like if you can sign up 10, 15 customers a month, eventually through that, you're going to find distributors while you build the skill for prospecting. So make sure that you know what your skills, what your good areas are, what you're good at, you know, but make sure that it's revenue producing. Make sure that it's revenue producing. Work out what's your talent, what's your skill, what's your gift zone. Practice meditation. Some of you are like, oh, that's a bit far for me. But listen, you don't have to sit with your legs crossed and your middle finger and your thumb touched together. I'm talking about visualize. Make sure you take time out to listen to yourself, to go be in nature, like away from the, like, my house is a nut house. I don't get a minute to think here. Why do you think you always see me walking in the countryside, right? Because you need time to connect with yourself, to listen to your inner voice, to guide you. You have a guide inside, and it's related to whatever source of energy you believe in, whether it be the universe or, you know, whatever God you believe in. You have a guide inside, your intuition. But in the crazy day of phones and computers and everything moving so fast, you become so far removed from it. So take time out to listen to yourself, to listen to your thoughts, to listen to what makes you happy, to watch your energy. Whenever next time you feel really fun and happy and hyper, stop and ask yourself, what just made me feel that way? Do more of it. Do more of that. And the other thing you can do is, again, visualize on your goals. You don't have to meditate. You can spend time, you know, visualizing on your goals. And here's what I want to tell you about. There's a game called the Prosperity Game. If you go into Google and you put in the money game or prosperity game, and it's a game that you can play. I think it's www.prosperitygame.com. And it's actually, this is really great for people that struggle with keeping money or always broke or never have enough of what they want and always seem to be struggling financially. And it allows you to switch your filter, because what it does is it gives you an amount of money every day that you can spend. And then every day it doubles. So I started doing this after Eric Warrer. And the first day I had 10,000 pounds. Well, that doesn't go very much. But the next day I had 20. The next day I had 40. The next day I had 80. And it completely, the energy doesn't know whether it's true or not. The energy you're giving out is, I am abundant. I've got money. I can spend it. I can, spend the day looking about, where am I going to put this 80 grand today? What am I going to do with it? Like, if you struggle with finances, I definitely suggest doing the prosperity game. A group of us did it after Eric Warra, and it's been so much fun, and I can already feel a shift. One of the women on stage said she'd been doing it, and when she hit her $1 million in her business, it was the exact day in a prosperity game that she hit $1 million. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not. Practice gratitude. Be thankful. I had a conversation today with somebody who told me some terrible news. And what I've learned over the years is not to so much like dive into, oh gosh, how bad it is, but to look for the ray of light in everything. And it doesn't matter how crappy my day or my situation or my minute is, I instantly have learned to switch my brain over, because I know I'm attracting the wrong stuff, and look at, what am I attracting? Like, what am I grateful for? This is horrendous, but what is this lesson in? What is the lesson in this? What is the grateful? What can I be grateful for? It says in here, you must unlearn what you've been programmed to believe since birth. That software no longer serves you. If you want to live in a world where all things are possible, practice gratitude. Gratitude is a vibration of energy that can change your life, and it'll take you from worrying. They say worrying is praying for what you don't want. Gratitude gives out a different type of energy, and it brings more abundance into your life. Be decisive. Don't overthink it. I see so many people overthinking. Maybe it's a decision to even get started in the business. Like, they'll think it over, and then they'll double think, and then they'll talk themselves back out of it. Learn to be decisive, and learn to be slow in changing your mind. So learn to be quick in decision and slow in changing your mind. Make a decision. That's your decision. Go with it. Stick with it. Stop overthinking. Should I do an event? Should I do a home party? But what if? And what if people don't come? And what will people think? And how will I, like, don't overthink it. Just go book it and then go invite people. Come out of your head. Stop spinning the stories of what if that has never even happened yet. You're already like making stories up about what would even happen, and it's not even happened. So stop overthinking of it and learn to be more decisive. Move forward in faith. And, you don't have to see, as it says here, it's a famous quote from Martin Luther King, you don't have to see the entire staircase to get started. And Tara talks really well about, the tunnel vision. Because people can't see how it's going to happen, they think it never will. You don't have to see the whole staircase. If your goal is to get to Pro 4, you've only got to see Pro 1. And then when you're there, you've only got to see Pro 2. And I want to tell you a story of how my last business grew. I started out in April with 4 people. By June, those 4 people had duplicated into 16. And by February the next year, those 4 people, who I had no idea even who they were going to be when I got started, they duplicated into 1,200 people. Now, when I got started, I had no idea that was going to happen. That was something beyond my wildest dreams of even comprehending that was possible for me. But I wasn't looking at that. I was looking at, okay, who are the first 3 people? How can I help them? How can I get them where they need to go? Small steps. Move forward in faith. You don't have to have all the information, all of the details. You just got to get started. I wrote a great rant on this on my Facebook the other day. If you want to go read it in full, go do so. But, a lot of people feel like they have to have all the facts. Here's what I know. I know that Rachel Jackson and Tara Wilson, on the same comp plan as us, on the same program that we follow, they made Pro 8 in a few months here. Yes, they're vets, like they've been around a while. So I'm not expecting any of you guys to go out and do that unless you really want to go for it over the next few months. What that shows me is our system works. Our compensation plan works. Rachel made a $25,000 bonus and good Pro 8 money every month. It shows me that what we do works if you do enough of it. So don't worry too much about knowing all of it. Move faith. Do the first steps. Invite to a launch call. Write a list. Invite them to come. You know, whether they come or not, but move forward in faith and start with the small goals. Break them down. Be short-sighted. Be short-sighted. Be short-sighted with a long-term vision. And a great quote that I listened to an audio from Wayne Dyer every night while I go to sleep, and probably for a while I'm asleep. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve your dreams. And there's a lot of people that have got a lot of dreams, but they're not doing what it takes. And so you've got a decision. You cannot do whatever it takes, but quit moaning about it. Or you can make a decision, because your life changes in a second thought with a decision. You can grab this opportunity. You can change your mind, start reading books, start, you know, growing yourself. The books and the learning, I can't tell you how much I've spent, probably half of my income, no, maybe not as much as that, on developing me. I urge you guys, work on you as much as you work in business. It takes time. It takes mindset. And 90% of your success is going to be dependent on it. So that's all I have for you guys this evening. If you enjoyed this training, oh, I didn't add it on. Go and get the book, You're a Badass by Jen Sincero. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. Like, I sent that to a book this week, to start that book to somebody this week who I just knew it would resonate to. They sent me a voicemail in tears this week. Like, I can't tell you how much that has impacted me. Thank you so much. So if any of this is relevant, if you want to learn more, if you want to dig down into it a little bit more, or if you've never read that book, highly recommend it. Anybody got any questions or anything to finish up the training? Have we doubled our registrations?